Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So my name's Katie and today I'm going to be doing my favourite books that are not sci-fi or fantasy. So you're probably wondering where I've gone and who is this strange woman. I do, contrary to popular opinion, read some books that aren't fantasy. I tend to gravitate towards fantasy and sci-fi, but then just on occasion I'll just be in the kind of mood for something else. And generally I do like romance books, but I have to be in a specific mood. Although often I do end up reading romance fantasy, but I do have one or two romances which I just love so much. So yeah, and also there's some other random like genres sprinkled in. I don't know, but yeah, so let's just get started. So the first book I'm going to mention is teetering on the brink of fantasy, but I would say it reads more as historical fiction, even though there are some kind of like fabulism elements, so I'm including it in this video even if it is cheating very slightly. And that is The Kingdom of Back by Marie Lu. So in this one we're following a girl called Nannerl. Well, that's her nickname. I think she's actually called Maria Anna, and she is the younger sister of Mozart, the famous like Wolfgang Mozart. And she is also very talented at playing the piano and she wants to compose as well, but because of she's kind of living in the shadow of her brother and also the kind of restrictions in society of a woman at the time, they're both kind of leading to a lot of internal conflict for her, because she wants to kind of like have her role, but she also wants to like be this kind of musician, composer, but she's kind of living in her brother's shadow, and so she's sort of dealing with, does she kind of do what's best for her brother and like her family, or does she like take all this ambition and just like go for it within the kind of time, like within the kind of constraints of society at the time. So I think that's really interesting, but it also has such a kind of whimsical, almost fairy tale like vibe, because her brother and herself, they kind of invent this like kingdom of back where they go to like on adventures, and there's this mysterious like prince character called Hyacinth who's like very shady, and you're not quite sure what he's up to, but he sort of convinces them to complete these like little quest things. He's sort of like almost the devil on the shoulder. This is quite short, but I think that works really well because Marie Lu's writing is very it's very kind of, it's lyrical, but it's not flowery, if that makes sense. Like, it gets to the point and it tells you the point well, but it doesn't just waffle on for ages. So I think this book was the perfect length and I really enjoyed it. And just look at the cover. Yeah, so that's the first one. Okay, then next I have one that I hardly ever see anyone talking about this on BookTube, but I just loved it so much, and that is Diary of a Confused Feminist. And I think this is a great book, especially I think all teenage girls should definitely read this, because it's just kind of exploring the like feminism and what it means to be a feminist, and how there's all these kind of, almost seems like there's all these rules but really it's just about kind of uplifting other women and being a kind of advocate for women's voices, where instead of all this like complicated stuff. And I think it shows that really nicely, and how Kate sometimes feels like she's a bad feminist, but really it's just kind of her struggling with teenage angst, which is perfectly like valid. This book is hilarious. Like, I laughed out loud so many times. Yeah, it's probably one of the funniest books I've ever read. And it deals really well with periods and period positivity and talking a lot about them, and I think that's really good. And also the kind of pros and cons of different things. I mean, it's not like a medical document or anything, but like it talks a bit about menstrual cups versus tampons and like what you should use and stuff, and it's interesting, I think. And just like a really fun kind of teenage book, but also has some really kind of good messages and deep themes, and I just really love this one. So yeah. Okay, so then next we have Little Women, which is like basically the only classic I've read, which I really loved it. So I don't know, I never really go towards classics, but I feel like there's a couple of classics that I'd really like to read. Well, I really want to read Jane Austen books, also The Picture of Dorian Gray, And what's the other one that I want to read? Oh, Count of Monte Cristo. Okay, that's my little classic TBR. It doesn't warrant its own video. But yeah, I just love this one so much. They're kind of 4 March sisters, and we're really just kind of following their lives. There's not a huge plot, and just how they interact with one another, and just the kind of the like joy in the little things, really. It's just so kind of heartwarming, and I love the film as well, the recent one. Seeing all the different like March sisters struggles, and I would say each different sister is kind of, they have their own kind of, they're almost quite archetypal. I don't know if it's just because it's an older book, but you can quite easily like project yourself onto each of the different characters. Like I definitely saw elements of my personality in each different March sister, so there's like lots to connect to, and they were just all kind of very lovable. And yeah, it's just such a kind of cute read. I can't wait to share this book with like my children when I'm older. I think they will really like it. So yeah, and that's this one. Okay, so then next we have some graphic novels, because why not? I love graphic novels, and these two are just the cutest, little, most wholesome, just when you need like a little pick-me-up. It's just so that is Heartstopper is the first one, and I feel like everyone on BookTube probably knows what Heartstopper is, but I just, if for some reason you don't, it's this kind of tale story of 2 boys, and one, Charlie, he's openly gay, and then he befriends Nick, who, well, Nick is kind of questioning his sexuality, and their friendship is just the most precious thing. And it's just, it kind of deals with different like issues around surrounding kind of teenage life, and just the kind of art style is so cute, and just the like facial expressions of the characters, they're just all so adorable, and it's just really the kind of like sugary sweet like heartwarming thing. Yeah, so they're really cute, and there's currently 3 volumes out, so I have them, although I read them, I've read the whole comic online. Like I always read the new updates when they come out, but I would say like wanted to collect the physical copies because I love them. So yeah, and then the second one is Check Please, and this one, I don't know, I feel like most people like Heartstopper more, but I feel like I might like this one more. But I just love the kind of dynamic of the like hockey friendship group, and there's like a pair of himbos they're at the back there, and they're just so cute. They do these like special segments throughout the comic where they like explain stuff, and oh, it's just so funny. And I don't really know anything about like ice hockey, but I still really enjoyed it. And yeah, it's just kind of that found family feeling. And Bitty, the main character, he's so precious. He's like such a cinnamon roll. So he's kind of going to university. Well, I think they call it college because it's in Canada or America, one of the two. And it just kind of, yeah, he joins the hockey team, and he's just kind of finding his place there. And he also has like an online blog. He loves baking, which I love baking as well. So that was really cool. And I just love following his like journey, and just the friendship of the team is just, oh, it's so precious. So yeah, so they're my like go-to things when I need like a pick-me-up. Also, if anyone has any like sapphic graphic novels in the like the kind of, what's the word, similar to Heartstopper or Check Please, please let me know, because I would love to read them. Because next we have the Falling in Love Montage, which is a YA contemporary, and oh, it's so cute, but also it has a really kind of hard-hitting topic, because the main character, Saoirse, her mother has early onset dementia, and that is such an interesting thing that is explored in the novel, and it really deals with like the kind of impact of that kind of like illness on the family, and how it's affecting like both her and her father. And it's just, there were so many times when I like almost teared up in this book because of the relationship Saoirse has with her mother, and also how this kind of, how her mother's illness has really affected her like outlook on life, and her kind of relationships with other people, and also how she kind of fears, because this early onset thing is hereditary, or it could be hereditary, so she's worried that she's gonna have it, and that really limits how she lives her life. So I think that's such an interesting like perspective, because often, especially like in medical school and stuff, well, we are taught to like consider everything, but often you do focus on like the patient, and without always considering like the big impact it's having on the people around the patient. And I think that's very interesting for me, especially just to read about that. And then also it has a really cute romance. So Ruby, oh, she's just so precious, is the love interest, and they kind of, Ruby and Saoirse, like, they decide that they don't want a proper relationship. They're just going to do the like falling in love montage from a rom-com throughout the summer. And yeah, it was just adorable. But also, yeah, the kind of hard-hitting themes really like hit you. So yeah, this is one of my favorite like contemporaries, and I'm pretty sure I bought this for like at least 2 people from their wish lists. So yeah, I just love it so much. Then next we have what is possibly my favorite romance / non-fantasy sci-fi book of all time, and that is Taking Dani Brown. Oh, I don't think I even need to talk about this. I love it so much. So this is by Talia Hibbert. I haven't done very well with naming authors. I need to get better at that. And oh, this book, just everything is perfect about it. So Sophia, the love interest, I wish he was real. And also Dani as well. I love her so much. I really related to Dani a lot. I feel like we have quite similar like personalities. I don't know, just kind of general weirdness. And yeah, so I'll try and explain the plot, but so Dani is like, so they're like work friends. So Dani is like a PhD student, I think, and she is at this building, and Sophia's the like security guard, and they sort of have like a work friendship. But then one day there's like a fire drill, and Sophia rescues Dani from the building, and then Sophia's like has this charity for like young kids playing football. I think it's football. It might be rugby or something, some sport. I wasn't paying attention, or maybe it's lacrosse. I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, so then for publicity for his charity, they sort of start this like fake relationship for social media, because like the post of him rescuing her goes viral. So then they have to start this like fake relationship. And first of all, the fake relationship trope is just, I love it so much. It's like one of my favourite tropes. Which the next book I'm going to mention as well sort of features this trope. So yeah, and then just the kind of both struggles that both Dani and Sophia have with their kind of personal confidence and like personal interpersonal relationships. I don't know if that made sense. Just the kind of way they interact with others and how their kind of life so far has influenced that. And yeah, just it's really kind of, it hits you in the emotions as well as the like cuteness, and their relationship is just, it's just so cute. Like if you just need a kind of really like a heartwarming, just everything. Oh, I'm so bad at articulating my thoughts on books I really love, but yeah, I adore it. So yeah, I would highly recommend that one. And also I think I liked Dani Brown more than Chloe Brown, because I feel like Chloe Brown was kind of middle. It was like a romance book, and it was okay, I enjoyed it. But like Dani Brown's just next level. Then also, so this next book, I feel like I might get my like British booktube card revoked for this, but I did really love it. I know it's not, a lot of people in the UK don't like it, and I do agree that the UK representation was poor. But that is Red, White and Royal Blue. So I don't know, I just found it so cute. And like when I read it, I'm not the most critical reader, so I just like the romance because I thought it was so cute. And it has basically a fake relationship. And just the turkey scene where Alex has turkeys in his room, that's just the most hilarious scene in like literature. I just love that. And it's another like just heartwarming, cutesy romance read. But yeah, the British royal family is a very stereotypical kind of depiction. So yeah, I think this book is definitely written like by Americans for Americans, if that makes sense. But I still really enjoyed it, and the romance is super cute. And yeah, it's sort of also this kind of alternate world where a woman was president, and I just wish that had really happened because yeah. I think that's all I need to say on that. But also I'm really excited for Casey McQuiston's next book as well, but I don't think it comes out till 2021. I think it's called One Last Stop, I believe. But anyway, so yes, that is that one. And next is some Elizabeth Acevedo books, and the first one is Clap When You Land. So I really love this one. It tells the story of two sisters who don't know their sisters, and well, they're half sisters, and their father dies in a plane crash. So first of all, just like a warning, if you like, I'm scared of flying and planes and stuff, and this book was like majorly like kind of triggering, so just be aware of that. But then yeah, so then after he dies, they find out that they have these like whole other families that they didn't know about. So it's just kind of these two girls like coming to terms with the fact that their father maybe wasn't who he thought they was, and also the fact that they now have family and how to deal with that. And then they both have kind of struggles going on in their own lives as well. And one of the girls is from the Dominican Republic and living in the Dominican Republic, and then the other one is New York, I believe, living in New York. So it's kind of also shows the kind of difference in like kind of living conditions between those two places, kind of, yeah, like socioeconomic factors. And yeah, it's just so beautifully told. It's written in verse, and I'd never read a book of poetry before, and it was really easy to follow. Like, I don't think it was almost like prose poetry. I don't know if I've never read poetry, so I don't know if that's what all poetry books are like that tell a story. But the story was like very easy to follow, and there was so many like lovely kind of metaphors, especially surrounding like water. I thought I really liked that. So yeah. And also the other one is With the Fire on High. So I really love this one. This one is written in prose, and it tells the story of Amori, she's a teenage mother, and she loves cooking, and she wants to go on this trip to I think it's Spain, but she doesn't have enough money, so she tries to like raise the money for it by sort of running this like scheme within her school where they like cook meals for people. And it's just really kind of it's just like a coming of age story almost, and there's some really great like interactions between the family, and like both her relationship with her daughter, which she really like cares about her daughter and wants what's best for her, and that kind of influences a lot of her decisions. And it's almost like she's learning how to be a tiny bit selfish for herself, and then also like her relationship with her mother and grandmother, because they all kind of live together and support each other, and that's just very like precious. So yeah, so that's that one. Okay, so that is everything. So comment down below and let me know what your favourite like contemporary romance, historical fiction, anything that's not SFF book is. Yeah, because I would say I would love to read more, but I do if one sounds really good, but I do tend to read fantasy, but yeah. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like and consider subscribing if you haven't already. And I hope you are all having a great day, and I will see you next time.